On March 21, 2025, President Donald Trump made a significant announcement from the Oval Office awarding Boeing a multi-billion-dollar contract to develop the next-generation air dominance aircraft designated as the F-47. This advanced fighter jet is intended to replace the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor and is designed to operate alongside unmanned drones in combat scenarios. Trump touted the F-47 as the most lethal aircraft ever built, claiming that a prototype has been secretly flying for the past 5 years. The deal represents a major victory for Boeing, which has faced challenges in both its commercial and military sectors, including safety issues and sluggish sales. Although the exact financial details of the contract remain undisclosed, it is estimated to be worth over $20 billion, with potential orders reaching hundreds of billions over the aircraft's lifecycle. Following the announcement, Boeing's stock rose by approximately 5%. While Lockheed Martin's shares fell nearly 6%, reflecting the competitive impact of the deal. The F-47 is characterized as a sixth-generation aircraft featuring advanced stealth technology, cutting-edge sensors, and high-performance engines, although specific design details remain largely classified. Trump highlighted the number 47, which he described as a beautiful number, linking it to his status as both the 45th and 47th President of the United States, and asserted that military generals were involved in selecting the name. This contract award is particularly noteworthy as it marks a setback for Lockheed Martin, which was recently eliminated from a separate competition to develop a next-generation carrier-based fighter for the U.S. Navy. The defeat raises concerns for Lockheed's existing F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program, which is already facing scrutiny from international partners such as Canada and Portugal. Both countries are reconsidering their F-35 purchases due to rising trade tensions with the U.S., with Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney seeking a review of its deal and Portugal's Defence Minister expressing hesitance about replacing older aircraft with the F-35. The F-35 program has been plagued by issues related to cost, with each aircraft priced around $85 million and costs escalating to approximately $150 million when factoring in support and infrastructure. As a result, some countries are exploring alternatives from European manufacturers like Dassault and Saab, despite the fact that these options may not offer the same level of stealth capabilities as the F-35. Adding an interesting dimension to the announcement, Elon Musk, a prominent ally of Trump, has expressed skepticism regarding the viability of manned aircraft, suggesting that unmanned drones could be a more cost-effective solution. Musk's visit to the Pentagon prior to the F-47 announcement was reportedly focused on discussions related to cost-cutting measures within the defense sector. In summary, the awarding of the F-47 contract to Boeing not only represents a significant strategic advancement for the U.S. military but also serves as a crucial recovery opportunity for Boeing amid its recent challenges. Conversely, Lockheed Martin faces increasing pressure on its existing programs, particularly the F-35, in the wake of this competitive setback. The implications of this contract extend beyond the immediate aerospace industry, potentially affecting international defense procurement decisions and the future landscape of military aviation. The content presents several counterintuitive pieces of information regarding the recent awarding of a defense contract to Boeing for the F-47 aircraft, which is described as the most lethal aircraft ever built. Here are the notable counterintuitive points. 1. Secrecy versus public announcement. While Trump claims that the F-47 has been secretly flying for 5 years, this contradicts the expectation that significant military advancements would typically be kept under wraps until a formal introduction or unveiling. The notion that a cutting-edge aircraft has been operational without public knowledge raises questions about transparency and the typical timeline of military project announcements. 2. Beautiful numbers selection. Trump's explanation for choosing the designation F-47 based on the number being beautiful is unusual for military nomenclature, which usually derives from more strategic or historical considerations. The fact that he is both the 45th and 47th president seems to serve more as a personal branding tactic rather than a substantive military rationale, which is counter to the expectation that military designations are based on operational significance. 3. Market reactions. The stock market's immediate reaction to the contract announcement saw Boeing's shares rise while Lockheed Martin's shares fell. This contrasts with the typical expectation that a major defense contract would benefit all associated companies equally, especially if they are in the same sector. Lockheed Martin's loss of the F-47 contract is framed as a significant setback, especially given the ongoing struggles with its F-35 program amidst rising international scrutiny. For international partners' dilemma, countries like Canada and Portugal re-evaluating their purchases of the F-35 due to trade tensions with the US is counterintuitive because one might expect strong military alliances to override political disagreements. This showcases how geopolitical dynamics can directly affect defense procurement decisions, even against the backdrop of established partnerships in military technology development. 5. Elon Musk's skepticism. The involvement of Elon Musk, a prominent figure in defense discussions expressing skepticism about manned aircraft in favor of drones, contradicts the conventional wisdom that high-tech manned fighter jets are the pinnacle of military aviation. His views reflect a shift in the understanding of future air combat, suggesting a potential paradigm change in how air superiority might be achieved. 6. Boeing struggles versus contract win. The contract is described as a much-needed win for Boeing, which has faced significant challenges in both commercial and military sectors. This juxtaposition between their historical struggles and the substantial contract award challenges the narrative that only successful companies secure large government contracts. It demonstrates that government contracts can act as lifelines, even for companies with a mixed track record. 7. Trade tensions impacting military sales. The notion that mounting trade tensions could jeopardize the sales of a high-profile program like the F-35 is counterintuitive, as one might expect defense contracts to be insulated from economic and political fluctuations. This situation indicates that even military matters are subject to the broader context of international relations. 8. Publicity of the announcement. The high-profile setting of the contract announcement in the Oval Office with media coverage and political fanfare contrasts with the usual discreet nature of defense contracts. This public approach could be seen as a strategic move to solidify political support rather than merely a business transaction, which is atypical in the defense industry. These points illustrate a range of counterintuitive dynamics at play within the context of military procurement, international relations, and the evolving landscape of air combat technology. The report on President Donald Trump awarding Boeing a multi-billion-dollar contract for the next-generation air dominance NGAD aircraft, the F-47, contains several important details that might be overlooked by the general public but are significant in understanding the broader implications of this decision. Here are some of those key points. 1. Secret development of the F-47. The claim that a version of the F-47 has been secretly operational for the last 5 years is noteworthy. This indicates that significant resources have already been invested in its development prior to the public announcement, suggesting a level of commitment to advancing military capabilities that may not be readily apparent. This secrecy may also raise questions about transparency in military spending and development processes, which are critical in a democratic society. 2. Impact on Boeing's financial health. The contract represents a significant recovery opportunity for Boeing, which has been struggling with sales and safety issues. The reported value of the contract exceeding $20 billion with potential future orders totaling hundreds of billions underscores the strategic importance of this deal, not just for the company but also for the U.S. economy, particularly in the aerospace sector. The rise in Boeing's stock by 5% immediately following the announcement reflects market confidence, which can have ripple effects on investor sentiment and the company's overall financial stability. 3. Pressure on Lockheed Martin. The awarding of the contract to Boeing is a significant blow to Lockheed Martin, particularly as it comes on the heels of their elimination from a separate competition for the U.S. Navy's next-generation aircraft. This decision may signal a shift in the competitive landscape of military aviation, with potential long-term implications for Lockheed Martin's market position in future projects, including the F-35 program. The F-35's rising costs and scrutiny from international partners could further jeopardize Lockheed Martin's prospects, illustrating how interlinked military contracts and international relations can be. 4. International repercussions. The mention of countries like Canada and Portugal reassessing their purchases of the F-35 due to trade tensions with the U.S. highlights the geopolitical implications of defense procurement. Such developments could lead to a reconfiguration of alliances and partnerships in defense logistics, possibly pushing allied nations to consider alternatives from European manufacturers despite those options lacking the advanced capabilities of the F-35. This could weaken U.S. influence in global defense markets and impact long-term strategic relationships. 5. Manned versus unmanned aircraft debate. The skepticism expressed by Elon Musk regarding the viability of manned fighters in the face of advancing drone technology is significant. His influence as a key ally of Trump may shape future military strategies and investments. The conversation around the effectiveness of manned aircraft versus drones is a critical one as it reflects broader trends in warfare and military strategy. This shift could influence funding and research priorities within the Department of Defense, impacting how resources are allocated in the future. 6. Symbolic number and political context. Trump's reference to the number 47 as a beautiful number and its connection to his dual presidency as the 45th and 47th president is not merely a trivial detail but serves to underscore the politicization of defense contracts. It illustrates how military projects can be leveraged for political gain, reinforcing the image of strength and leadership. Such symbolism can resonate with certain voter demographics, potentially influencing public opinion and electoral outcomes. 7. Long-term military strategy. The F-47 is characterized as a sixth-generation aircraft designed to counter adversaries like China and Russia, highlighting the strategic military shift towards advanced technological capabilities. This emphasis on next-generation systems suggests a broader military strategy focused on maintaining air superiority through innovation. However, the reliance on cutting-edge technology raises concerns about the cost-effectiveness of such investments and the need for a balanced approach to military readiness. In summary, these overlooked aspects of the report reveal a complex interplay between defense contracting, corporate health, international relations, and military strategy. The implications of the F-47 contract extend beyond the immediate benefits to Boeing, influencing competitive dynamics in the defense sector, shaping international partnerships, and reflecting broader trends in military modernization and strategy. Understanding these nuances is crucial for grasping the full significance of the announcement and its potential ramifications for the future of U.S. defense policy and global military dynamics. 1. Strategic military development and technological advancement. The awarding of the contract for the F-47, described as the most lethal aircraft ever built, signifies a noteworthy advancement in military technology for the U.S. Air Force. The aircraft is characterized as a sixth-generation fighter designed to replace the F-22 Raptor, enhancing the U.S. military's capacity to engage in modern warfare scenarios. The F-47's ability to operate alongside unmanned drones represents a strategic pivot towards integrating advanced technology into combat situations, which is crucial for maintaining air superiority against emerging global threats from adversaries like China and Russia. This point allows for an in-depth analysis of how technological advancements in military aircraft could reshape modern warfare and the balance of power. 2. Economic implications for Boeing and competition with Lockheed Martin. The contract represents a significant economic boost for Boeing, which has faced challenges in both its commercial and defense sectors. The potential value of the contract, estimated to exceed $20 billion, could lead to hundreds of billions of dollars in orders over its lifetime. In contrast, Lockheed Martin's recent loss in securing a similar contract poses serious questions about its future in the high-end fighter market, particularly regarding the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter program. Analyzing the economic implications of this contract for Boeing alongside the competitive dynamics with Lockheed Martin could reveal insights into the defense industry's structure and the consequences of corporate performance on national defense capabilities. 3. International relations and defense procurement trends. The F-47 contract and the subsequent challenges faced by the F-35 program highlight the growing concerns among international partners regarding U.S. defense exports. Countries like Canada and Portugal are reconsidering their commitments to the F-35 due to rising trade tensions with the U.S., which could prompt a shift towards purchasing aircraft from European manufacturers. This development raises critical questions about the impact of U.S. defense policies on global arms sales and international alliances. A deeper exploration of how geopolitical factors influence defense procurement decisions can provide a clearer understanding of the interconnectedness of military and diplomatic strategies. 4. Influence of key figures in future of manned versus unmanned aircraft. The involvement of influential figures like Elon Musk, who has expressed skepticism about the efficacy of manned fighter jets, adds a layer of complexity to the discussion surrounding the F-47. Musk's advocacy for unmanned alternatives could signal a broader industry trend toward drone warfare, challenging traditional notions of crewed aircraft's roles in future combat. Analyzing Musk's position alongside the F-47's development can lead to a rich discussion about the future of aerial combat, the potential for cost-saving measures in defense spending, and the ethical implications of increasing reliance on unmanned systems in warfare. This point can further delve into the balance between technological innovation and operational effectiveness in military strategies. 1. United States Air Force's F-22 Raptor development and deployment. 1980s-2005. The F-22 Raptor was developed in the 1980s with the aim of creating a fifth-generation air dominance fighter that incorporated stealth, advanced avionics, and supercruise capabilities. The program was highly secretive, with extensive funding and development challenges including cost overruns and technical delays. The aircraft was finally introduced into service in 2005, becoming a critical component of U.S. air power. Its advanced capabilities allowed it to outperform older models and maintain air superiority against potential adversaries, much like the anticipated F-47 aims to do against current threats. 2. Lockheed Martin's F-35 Joint Strike Fighter Program. 2001-present. The F-35 program, launched in 2001, aimed to create a family of stealthy multi-role fighters for the United States and allied nations. The program has faced significant challenges, including cost overruns, technical difficulties, and criticism over its performance relative to expectations. Despite these challenges, the F-35 has become the most widely used modern fighter jet, with thousands ordered globally. The competition between contractors, particularly between Lockheed Martin and Boeing, mirrors the dynamics of the recent F-47 contract, with ongoing concerns about international sales and partnerships. 3. Boeing's KC-46 Pegasus Tanker Program. 2011-present. The KC-46 Pegasus, developed to replace the aging KC-135 Stratotanker fleet, has faced numerous challenges, including delays and cost overruns similar to Boeing's recent struggles. Initially awarded a contract in 2011, the program has experienced several setbacks regarding development timelines and technical issues, leading to scrutiny from the U.S. Air Force and Congress. The KC-46's difficulties highlight the complexities involved in military aircraft development, akin to the emerging challenges Boeing may face with the F-47, particularly as it enters a competitive market against established players like Lockheed Martin. The awarding of the multi-billion-dollar contract to Boeing for the development of the F-47 next-generation air dominance aircraft marks a pivotal moment in the U.S. military and aerospace landscape. As we look to the future, several predictions can be made about the implications and developments that will likely arise from this significant contract. Strategic military development. 1. Technological advancements. The F-47 is expected to incorporate cutting-edge technologies such as advanced sensors, artificial intelligence, and enhanced stealth capabilities. This will likely influence global military technology trends. prompting other nations to accelerate their own defense innovations in response to the perceived threat posed by the F-47 and its capabilities. 2. Shift in air combat dynamics. With the F-47 designed to operate alongside unmanned drones, we can expect a shift in air combat strategies. This may lead to the development of integrated combat systems that leverage both manned and unmanned aircraft, enhancing operational efficiency and effectiveness in various combat scenarios. Economic implications. 3. Boeing's recovery and growth. Following years of financial challenges, the Boeing contract provides a crucial lifeline. The potential for orders totaling hundreds of billions over the aircraft's lifetime will likely stabilize Boeing's financial standing, enabling investments in research development and production capabilities. This could also bolster job creation within the aerospace sector. 4. Competitive landscape. Lockheed Martin will face increased pressure to innovate and respond to Boeing's advancements. The loss of the F-47 contract and the competitive environment could lead Lockheed to reassess its strategies, potentially accelerating the development of next-generation technologies or diversifying its product offerings to regain its competitive edge. International relations and defense procurement. 5. Reassessment of F-35 program. As countries like Canada and Portugal reconsider their commitments to the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, the F-47's introduction may prompt a broader reevaluation of defense procurement strategies among U.S. allies. Nations may seek to diversify their military purchases or explore partnerships with European manufacturers, which could reshape defense alliances. 6. Geopolitical tensions. The unveiling of the F-47 could exacerbate existing geopolitical tensions, particularly with adversaries such as China and Russia. These nations may respond by accelerating their own military advancements, leading to an arms race in advanced aerial capabilities. Increased military spending in response to perceived threats could strain international relations further. Influence of technology leaders. 7. Rise of autonomous systems. Elon Musk's skepticism about manned aircraft and his advocacy for cost-effective drone alternatives could catalyze a broader industry shift towards unmanned systems. This may lead to increased investment and innovation in autonomous military technologies, influencing future combat scenarios and procurement decisions. 8. Public perception and advocacy. As technological advancements in military applications progress, public discourse around the ethics of drones and autonomous systems will likely intensify. Advocacy groups might push for regulations governing the use of AI in warfare, impacting how future aircraft, including the F-47, are developed and employed. Long-term military strategy. 9. Focus on joint operations. The F-47's designed to operate in conjunction with drone signals a move towards more integrated joint operations within the U.S. military. Future military strategies will likely emphasize interoperability among various branches and allied forces, shaping training programs and operational tactics. 10. Adaptation to asymmetric threats. As military adversaries evolve their tactics, the U.S. will need to adapt its capabilities. The success of the F-47 will depend not only on its technological superiority but also on its ability to counter unconventional threats, including cyber warfare and electronic warfare tactics. Conclusion. In summary, the F-47 contract represents more than just a new fighter jet for the U.S. Air Force. It signals a transformative era in military aviation and defense procurement. The strategic, economic, and geopolitical ramifications of this decision will unfold over the coming years, influencing not only the U.S. military but also global defense dynamics. As nations react to the advancements encapsulated in the F-47, the landscape of international military power will continue to evolve, leading to an era marked by both competition and collaboration in defense technologies.